The way I've been expressing it when talking about open-ended intelligence recently in this sort of AGI context is, first of all, you're viewing an intelligence system as a complex, self-organizing, adaptive, dynamical system. So it's a system with a bunch of different parts, and they're communicating and cooperating, coordinating, adapting to each other. The parts of the system have their own autonomy in a way, but the system also hangs together as a whole system, at least in some sense, and from some perspective. So we're definitely taking a sort of complex systems theory view of intelligence, rather than, say, looking at an intelligence as primarily a problem-solving algorithm, right? So, I mean, an intelligence may solve problems, it has to, of course, but the fundamental essence is it's a complex, self-organizing system, which is, building up itself, taking apart itself, interacting with other systems and with other things in its environment. You can then look at a bunch of properties of systems like this, and one thing you can look at is what Weaver calls in his PhD thesis titled Open-Ended Intelligence, which I'd encourage everyone to take a look at. I mean, one property you can associate with a complex self-organizing system is individuation, which is a deep philosophical concept, but I mean, in the crux of it is this system maintaining as a coherent system over time, rather than like dispersing into a bunch of molecules that are randomly distributed everywhere. The system maintains itself, right? And I mean, this is survival in an evolutionary context of the individual organism or of the species or of the DNA pattern. So there's individuation. And then there's what I think of as self-transcendence, which there's a bunch of other words for, which is tied with development. It's the system rebuilding itself into something fundamentally going beyond what it was before. So I mean, you've got individuation and you've got self-transcendence, which leads to what Weaver called in this thesis like transductive change, where the system builds itself into a new system, which builds itself into a new system. And these are complementary things, and they're also, from some perspectives, contradictory things, because of course maintaining your identity as an individual continuously, that can have interesting and complex interrelationship with fundamentally reinventing yourself as something totally different over and over again. I mean, we see this sort of paraconsistent dialectic in our lives, because we, like, in what sense am I the same guy I was at like age 2, or let alone at even age 45, but age 2 or 2 months, right? There's been individuation, not just the same body, but some of the same personality characteristics. But I've also reinvented and rebuilt myself in many ways. But how much more powerful will that become once you can replace your hardware with new hardware and sort of design new physical implementations for part of yourself, or merge with other minds in a stronger sense than humans habitually do. So an open-ended intelligence is a complex, self-organizing, adaptive system that's, ongoingly pursuing its own individuation and its own self-transcendence, and doing that in the real world, which is full of all sorts of complex, chaotic, crazy stuff. I mean, that in practice intrinsically involves adaptation to the complex environment, and it involves making up a lot of goals and working to pursue those goals, but it also involves making up new goals at different times as you go along. And all this sort of thinking underlies SingularityNet in the first place, right? I mean, this is why SingularityNet is not like one AI algorithm to rule them all with one goal to rule them all. I mean, this is why I thought like you want a diverse assemblage of AIs all cooperating together to figure out what the hell they're doing and to define new goals and how to pursue those goals. And you're constantly pulling new things into the system. Other things will leave the system. So the SingularityNet network to succeed in growing toward emergent general intelligence, it's got to individuate and it's got to repeatedly self-transcend. Now, Nunet, in a way, just adds another necessary component to this complex self-organizing system. I mean, SingularityNet, it's a protocol for AI software agents to communicate with each other, but those AI software agents all need compute resources, right? And they need data resources, they need human resources, they need many kinds of resources. SingularityNet in itself sort of doesn't deal with that aspect. I mean, it isolates it and leaves it a separate layer, which is how modern tech stacks work. I mean, it's fine. You want to modularize your software systems and software networks, but then Nunet deals with, in a way, the open-ended intelligence, the individuation and repeated self-transcendence of the network of resources which are making themselves available for SingularityNet or other decentralized networks that can run on top of Nunet. And then, of course, to do that requires subtle software designs and tokenomic designs. I mean, just as to get open-ended intelligence to work in biology involves subtle molecular biology and quantum physics designs and so forth.